Hey everyone, it's Lissette here. Welcome to my channel. You guys, I did not realize how close back to school was. I'm actually low-key excited because that means my kids gets to go off pretty much the majority of the day and leave me home to do what I gotta do. But also I kind of feel like it sucks because this summer went by so fast. I cannot believe already like they're already heading to school soon. But anyway, y'all already know I want to do a back to school nail design. I've been seeing a lot of designs and I kind of want to do my own little spin on it, but I got a lot of fun stuff that I want to do in this set, a lot of different things. This set took me 6.5 hours to do, you guys. I knew there were certain elements that I wanted to add to it. Maybe that's why it took me longer to try to come up with what I needed to get done. Yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this nail design. Like I said, it took me a while to complete, but there's a lot of fun stuff involved in it. And yeah, I just hope you guys really enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, let's just jump right in and get this nail design started. All right, before I even physically do my actual nails, there's certain things that I need to do before even trying to attempt to create any kind of nail design. So the first thing I want to create is a world globe. You know, one of those globes that you see in the classroom? Well, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I want it to actually spin. But I needed to create some stuff prior to even trying to attempt to do it. So the first thing I did was I took this cuticle bar. I actually sell these on my site, and I ended up straightening one of those out because I needed a straight bar and I didn't have one. So I got one of those. And then another thing that I needed was like a small little bead that would add as the globe. So I ended up having to create my own. I got this little silver bead thingy from Temu, and I just took 2 of the medium-sized balls. And y'all already know I had to pull out my new Melody Susie drill. Y'all, I do have a code with them if you want to go check that out and save yourself some money on any kind of drills or like dust collectors. You could use my code and save some money. But yeah, so right here all I'm doing is I am taking my drill bit. This is actually a cuticle bit, and I'm going right down that center to make a space for the ball to fall. Now I tried hard to look for a bead and I couldn't find one anywhere, so this was my last resort, just trying to make my own. And this thing was so freaking tiny, it kept popping out of my fingers. But once I made a groove on both of the half balls, I did go ahead and file the surface with a nail file just so the 2 halves can stick together. And I ended up just gluing it down with some regular nail glue, and it held down perfectly fine. And I just let it dry for a few seconds. Look at it, it's a perfect fit. Look at it spin. I was so excited like during this whole process. But from there I went in with this Beetles gel polish. This is D477 and it is actually a cat eye, and this blue I thought would be perfect for the background as the water. So you already know how to go in, paint the surface of this tiny little ball blue. I did use the magnetic cat eye thingamajig to, you know, get that shimmer or shine going. This was hard because it was so freaking tiny, and yeah, I struggled a little bit. But anyway, so I did go ahead and I cured that in place. I used 2 different color greens, a white, and pulled out my micro brush to create the smallest little details for this globe. You guys, I was staring at my phone so hard during this whole process, trying to make sure I got all like the little continents in the right place and like the shape of them. I tried my best, but this was the smallest surface, and I want to apologize if it keeps blurring out, but it was hard trying to paint on this tiny little bead. All of the polish is from Nail Reserve. I do have a code with them as well, so you can save 50 or 60 is one of them. They flip-flop sometimes with 50 and 60, but use my code, you can save some money and cure that. This is what it looks like, y'all. I was super happy with how it looked. It is the cutest little earth globey thingamajig. I went ahead and top coated it to seal everything up, and then I did a full cure for 60 seconds. While that was curing, I wanted to go ahead and create a 3D apple. I ended up using this, what do you guys call this? Is it like gummy gel? I'm gonna call it gummy gel or non-stick gel, I don't know. But I ended up just using that to create the shape of the apple, and I could have sworn I had an apple already, but I don't know, maybe not, because I couldn't find anything similar to a freaking apple, so I had to create my own. So I just did that. It's looking like a little butt cheek in the bottom, but that's fine. This is me testing out the globe, making sure it is cute in its little place. Look at it spin. Oh my god, I was so happy with it. But yeah, so once I cured my little apple in place, I did go ahead and do the stem. I added that because I totally forgot to add the stem or a leaf. I tried to do a leaf and it wasn't working, so I just did a little stem. And my head kept getting in the way of the camera, so that's why it keeps blurring out, you guys. I apologize. These things were so freaking small and I really needed to see, but I couldn't. But once I did that, I did go ahead, I cured it. I took out this red. All of the polish, every single polish that I'm using in this video is from Nail Reserve, just so you guys know, because some of the names of the polishes that I use I don't remember, or if I'm not sure if I show it or not, but yeah. Anyway, so I did the apple red, I did the stem green, I cured that. Oh, I also added some yellow because I wanted it to have like you know how some apples have like yellow inside of it, so I wanted to add that as well, and I thought it made it a little bit more realistic. So once I did that, I was happy with it. I did go ahead and just cure that in place. And also for my brushes, all of the brushes I'm using is from LGN Pro. I pulled out, yeah, all of my brushes I ended up using for all of these nails that I did today. I had a mess in my room, you guys. On my table, I think like everything was out. Look at how cute this little apple is. So I just added that to my little collection of stuff that I need before doing my nails. I knew for a fact I wanted a pencil nail and I wanted it to write, so I found this one in my boy's room, and luckily that little piece just popped right out, so I didn't need to fuss and try to cut it out. And then on top of that, I wanted to do a crayon nail, and of course I wanted the crayon to color. Hello, you can't have a crayon nail and not it actually work. So I just went in with my X-Acto knife, I cut it out, and of course I didn't want it pink because I feel like every time somebody does like a crayon nail they choose like red or something. I wanted it to be pink. So I did go ahead and just cut out, I tried to cut out like a rectangular block out of like the end of this crayon piece, and I tried to do it as thin as possible, but not too thin, but thin enough where I'm putting it on the nail is not looking too bulky. So it looks like an eraser right now, but trust me, it's gonna work in the end. I got all my decor pieces. Now we're gonna go ahead and start the actual nails. Now for this, I took out both the XL stiletto nail tips and my non-C-curve XL coffin tips. Both of these are up on the sides. And for the pointer, I wanted to do that one because that's going to be the pencil. So I wanted that one to be stiletto, and the rest of the nails is just coffin. So yeah, I already know I'm going in with my rubber base gel to glue down my tips. I like to add a layer of base gel to the entire surface and then just flash cure it in place with my little flash cure lamp. And this is the fastest process. It literally is like 5 seconds to flash cure each nail. Once I do that and have all my nails on, I do go in and put my hand in the full size lamp for a full 60 to make sure they fully cured. So for my globe, I wanted to physically spin, so I do need to make a hole in the nail. So I'm just there measuring it, and then I go in with my ball bit. This is another item that I sell on my site, LGN Pro baby. But this is me just drilling that hole, that space. I just thought it was easier if I did it this way instead of building my tip out and then trying to file it. I don't know, I just did it this way because I thought it would be faster, but I made my little hole so my little world can spin inside of it. And then I went ahead and just applied my rubber base gel to all of the nails again. This is going to act as a bonder for the hard gel, so you already know the hard gel won't separate from the actual nail tip itself. And then again, do a full cure for 60 seconds. Starting off with my pinky nail, I wanted this nail to be the crayon nail, but I felt like it was gonna be too long, so I did go in with these new scissors, and y'all, these scissors would not cut. Look, struggling. I had to go all the way across in for it to cut. Mind you, these are new scissors, but they're from Temu, so I don't know. Yeah, you get the information and you run with that. So for the crayon, I did crayon. You hear me? For the eraser. No, crayon. I'm right. I don't know why I said eraser. Maybe because it's pink and it looks like an eraser. I ended up cutting it a little bit more narrow before putting it on, and to glue it down, I did use my rubber base gel. My rubber base gel is bomb and it can glue down anything, you guys. I am in love with my base gel. Seriously. But once I did that, I did go around it just to secure secure it in place before physically adding any kind of hard gel on top. Now the color I chose for this pinky nail is simply pink, and I'm going to use my oval number 6 to build out these nails, well, this one nail. And for this, again, I'm just building it out like a regular extension, making sure I have my apex. And then when it comes down to that very tip part, I did overlap it a little bit, and it's gonna look crazy at first, you guys, but trust me, once I file it, it looks so much better. It actually looks like a finger with a pink nail, which is hilarious to me. Like, look at how funny that is. I don't know. Anyway, so I ended up doing like 2 or 3 layers. I don't really remember. I think it was like 2 layers, just to build out that apex and just to make sure like it was covering the crayon. And then each layer I did go in and I just cured it every single time I added, before adding a new layer. And before anybody asks why didn't I just put the crayon piece underneath the nail, I don't like that. I think it is so ugly when people do it that way. I want it to look like an actual crayon, and I want my nail to look like an actual nail. Like, I want it to look pretty from every angle, if that makes sense. I don't want anything bulky. I don't want anything sticking out from underneath the bottom part. I want it to be obvious that it is a crayon, but also it's a actual nail, if that makes sense. I don't know. If y'all know, if you understand me, you know this is how my brain works. I skipped the ring and went straight to the middle nail, and this middle nail is going to be the one that holds the globe. And for this, I'm just building it out again, trying to avoid that center because that's where the hole is. This took me longer, I think, because I had that hole in the middle and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to cover it. I don't know, I struggled with this one, but again, I did this in layers. Each time I cured it, add more where I needed, and so on, making sure I just had a good apex and, you know, there was like a good enough strength for the nail. So as mentioned earlier, the pointer nail was going to be the pencil, and again, using these freaking scissors that wouldn't cut properly, I just nipped off that tip because, again, in my mind, the pencil tip, that should fill that whole pencil, the nail tip part where the pencil, I can't even talk. I hopefully y'all understand what I'm trying to say. I want the pencil tip to be right at the tip where the stiletto tip was supposed to be. This is what I mean when I say I make things harder for myself. But anyway, moving on, I'm using my hard gel again to build the strength of these nails, build these out, and build my apex. And again, when it comes to that little point part, I'm not gonna go all the way down. I do want a little bit of that pencil to be sticking out, so I do cover it halfway just to make sure it's locked in and it's not gonna go anywhere. Alright, y'all, this is what we got so far. Moving on to my ring nail. I want this nail to be a book. So I got these door hinges. Actually, somebody sent me these. And I don't know if it was a subscriber or if it was like one of those Amazon sellers, but I just got these randomly in the mail with no note or anything. But yeah, so we're gonna use this. You guys already know, if you've watched my videos, I've done this plenty of times before. I just glued them down with my rubber base gel. Now for this one, I wasn't really happy with the placement of it, so I did pop it out. Before it was like fully cured, I did rip it off and I just did it again. Yeah, I wasn't happy with like the angle of it, so I just made sure before I fully cured it just to pop it off and just to do it again until I was satisfied, because I knew if I were to leave it like that, the door wouldn't close the way I would have wanted it to. So I'm glad I just, you know, went with my gut and just redid it. But again, once I just redid it, I reinforced it with more of my rubber base gel, and I did fully cure that. Now for this nail, since it's going to be a book, I wanted to use my Milky Whites because we needed a white sheet, and I didn't want to use polish. I wanted to use my hard gel. So Milky White, again, I'm going to add this to the entire nail. Before this, I'm going to be extremely careful with the door hinge because I do want to make sure that I'm not adding any gel in that little space where the hinge moves open and closes, because that would be bad if I seal that shut. But also I want to make sure I'm doing these thin. I don't want to do too big of an apex, just enough to have some kind of strength there so the nail holds on and it won't break, but you know, thin enough where once I put my little door or book cover, it'll close properly and it won't look cray. Once I had all of them done and fully cured, I went in with my nail cleanser and just cleansed the surface. One thing that I forgot to show you guys is the thumbnail. I just did a full entire nail. I wanted the nail to be a ruler, so I didn't really need to do anything extra with the nail, so it was just a full nail of Simply Pink. Taking out my brand new Melody Susie dust collector, we're gonna go in and start filing these into shape. Now this was hard, and I say that only because there was a lot of like the pencil. I wanted to avoid filing the little lead piece in the bottom. Even when it came to the crayon, I didn't want to file the crayon. What, you know, like the door hinge was in the way with me trying to file. So there was a lot of pieces that was in the way and it was working against me, but I did try my best to make it work and, you know, really get the shape that I was going for with these nails. Like I said, I really wanted the pencil to look like pencil, the crayon to look like a crayon, and so on. Yeah, I already know. But this is a 180 nail file. I'm just going in using that. I do use my nail drill as well, and I used the fine taper drill bit, and I'm going around that cuticle section just to make sure that the cuticle section is smooth and nothing looks crazy. And y'all already know how I do make things look perfect. And yeah, and at this, I'm using this at, I want to say 20,000 RPM. Again, one more time, cleaning off these nails. Now we're gonna go straight into polish, and I wanted to match the pink of the crayon. So for that, I went with this color, and I did mix it a little bit with white just to lighten it up a little bit. And this was the closest pink that I could have gotten to this, you know, color. So I just went in, I started trying to create the physical crayon, and I did have the crayon in front of me, you guys, while I was doing this. This was so tedious because I tried to get it as close as possible. Yeah, like, I don't know, it was long. Like I said, I was there sitting there for like 6.5 hours non-stop trying to do this. I just stopped like one time, I think, but literally, yeah. So every time I added a color or I did a section, I did go ahead and cure it in place because I'm known to like messing things up. And actually, I did have to fix this nail, and you're gonna see at some point I do file off one of the black lines because I realized I was supposed to add a different pink on top. You'll see me doing that in a second, but again, I'm just trying to create the little swirly piece that is printed on the crayon. And yeah, I'm gonna just let y'all watch me try my best to do this crayon as close as possible, and then I'll come back. When I tell y'all, these little letters took me so long to freaking do. You guys, I was moving like a snail. This is sped up. I want to say like 600%. I am not even lying. I did have to do it twice as well, just to make sure you could see the layers. But you guys, this took me so freaking long. But again, I am super happy with how it came out. For the book nail, I ended up getting these tips from Amazon because I ran out of my other ones. But yeah, so I'm gonna use this for my book. And this is me just measuring it, making sure that it's going to cover. Now, I did have to etch the inside of this because the door like hinge, it wasn't going to lay properly, so I did have to just thin out that side a little bit, so once I glued it down it wouldn't look lopsided. And then I also did have to cut the tip off because it was too long. So I wanted to do the physical design first before gluing onto my nail. So for this I just used my rubber base gel. I cured that for a full 60. I'm going in with this flamingo color, which is the perfect pink. It is gorgeous, and this book is actually going to be one of those composition books. Every time I see somebody do a composition book nail design, they're always using like the black and white. Like I said, I wanted this to represent a girly feel, so that's why I decided to go in with the hot pink, because like I said, I haven't really seen anybody do that. But this again took me so freaking long to do. I'm just gonna let y'all watch, but again, yeah, I can't even emphasize how long this took me. Okay, so after I did that whole hour-ass long nail design, I'm just kidding, it didn't take me an hour, probably close to it. But anyway, I went in with my matte top coat. I wanted this to be matte. Now, for this, I felt like I kind of messed it up with this matte because I kept going over the surface, trying to make sure I was getting like a smooth surface on top, but it smeared the lettering a little bit, so I was a little disappointed at that. But I did go in, I cured that, and then I wanted to do the lining for the paper, so I went in and I just did that. This was probably like the easiest process out of all of the nails, I'm not even gonna lie, just adding these little lines for the paper. I also did a custom pink line to, you know, just mimic the paper that are in the book. I cured that, and then I just added some cute little, you know, 2 + 2 = 4. I also did a red A+ sign on top, and then I just felt like the bottom was empty, so I did go in and do, y'all remember doing this in school, doing like the S design, like the line? I don't know what this is called. I had this all over my notebook. I don't know about y'all, but I used to do that all the time in school. So I just went in again with the matte top coat. I cured it, and this is me adding the cover of the book. So for this, again, I just laid it on top, and I just used my little detailer, and I just added a little bit of that base gel on the side, and I cured it physically like this. And this doesn't secure it fully in place, but it does hold it in place, so once, like, I would be able to open the door and fill the inside. You see like this, and I'm just gently opening it, and then here is where I go back in with more of that rubber base gel and just fill that door hinge part, making sure it's secured and locked in. I could have filled in the inner book part, and I don't know why. Like, this nail design I knew was gonna take me long, so I was gonna save that for last if I wanted to do a design on the inside, but I ended up not doing it. Like I said, this nail design took me so freaking long that I just ended up leaving the inside like that. Cute. Look at how pretty she looks. Okay, next nail. Moving on to this globe part. I needed to mark where I wanted it to go. So once I marked it, I did go back in with a file. Now I did switch the drill bit, so ignore what I'm doing here because I don't know why I try to go in with this big bit. I did go back in with the skinnier, like the needle point, the needle drill bit, and I just drilled out the little parts where I needed the stick to fall because I want, like I said, I wanted these to fall inside the nail. So I'm just cutting out my little grooves, making it deep enough so it'll just slide right in there and fall in. Once I did that, I did go in and I just cured it in place with some rubber base gel, and then I went back in with my Simply Pink and just filled in those little gaps, and I did a full cure for 60 seconds. I pulled out these little spinner thingies, and I've only used this one time, and I wanted to add the apple on this, but again, you guys know me, I make things so freaking complicated that I wanted it to fall again inside the nail, so I'm just drilling out a space to put that little spinner thing. I think if I remember correctly, I got those from Amazon, and I think it was like a pack of 10. I could be wrong, you guys. I apologize if it's not on Amazon. But this is me just using my ball bit, just making a hole to make sure that that spinner thing will fall right in. And look at how flat it looks. I hate it when I see people do these and they're like popping up so far off the nail, like it drives me crazy. So this is me just being anal and putting it inside the nail and curing it again with my rubber base coat. And look, it spins perfectly and it is flat, it's not too bulky. I was happy with it. But this is me again just trying to file around that piece where I just added that extra hard gel, and then I do go in and again I take my green and I paint the background because the background is going to be like the chalkboard. And for this green, I did mix two greens together, so there's going to be a light and dark part of the green. I wanted it to almost look textured a little bit. So again, once I cover the nail, I cured that for a full 60, and then I went straight into adding a little bit more detail. So again, for the world's globe, I added, it's almost like the wooden piece, I guess you would call it, that holds the globe in place, or a stand almost. So I just did that really fast. I cured that in place, and then for the chalkboard, I added some numbers and also some like letters, just so the background wasn't looking too plain. I used the white and like the micro detailer. And again, all of the brushes that I am using are from my website, LGNpro.com. We are actually having a sale, you guys. I totally forgot. It is our 3-year anniversary, which y'all, time is flying. But if you use code year3, you can go ahead and save 20% on your order. It actually ends, I think Sunday is the last day, which would be what, tomorrow? So yeah, go get yours. But again, I went in with a matte top coat just to cure that in place, and also I covered the crayon in matte as well. Now this is me looking at the apple, trying to place that in. I did go in with my Bling It Noy brown rhinestone gel and I glued this in place. And for this, since it wasn't translucent like the apple, I did have to angle my nail or tilt it to the side. I did use my gooseneck flash cure lamp to twist it and angle it underneath the apple. You guys, this is something else that you guys need in your life if you don't have. It's very handy to have and it is rechargeable. Look at her go, so freaking cute. Next nail, this is the pencil nail, and I'm gonna just let y'all watch because this is strictly me just trying to take the polish and just mimic the colors, well, match the colors and create, you know, the pencil itself. You are gonna see me add some chrome powder to these nails as well. And I am following the color scheme of the pencil that I had earlier that I did show. So you're gonna see that I add a red line on top and some golds. You can see like the pencil here, like the eraser part, you see how that has like the red, the golds. So yeah, I try to do that on top where the eraser is. So again, I'm just gonna let you guys watch and I'll be back. For this chrome powder, I got this chrome powder off of Amazon, and it came in a kit or a set of, I want to say it was like 16 different colors, or yeah, I think it was like 16 different colors. So yeah, again, Amazon, I have it linked in my Amazon storefront. I also wanted to add some golds on the physical like perimeter of the globe part, the handle piece. I just think it'll look more fancy and expensive if I do that. I guess I was going for a little bit more of an antique look with this globe, world's globe, and I really like the outcome. So I just, like I said, I just added some gold chrome to this as well. I thought it would fit perfect. For my thumbnail, I don't know if I mentioned it already, I think I mentioned it earlier, this is going to be a ruler. Now, since it was taking me so long to do these nails, at this point, I was honestly over this set. I was so tired. I think it was like 1 in the morning that I was trying to complete these nails. So when it came to this nail, I just wanted to keep it real simple. I didn't do anything extra or fancy. I was just trying to make sure that I had all the little lines kind of centered each one, and then I added the numbers. Once again, I just did this real simple, and I tried to do it 1 2 3 as fast as I could because I was exhausted. My eyes was hurting me, my ass was hurting me, I was getting a headache, and I was ready for these nails to be over with. But once again, I went in with the matte for this nail as well. Alright, you guys, so this is the final look, and the fact that it took me so freaking long, I am so happy with the outcome. Look, the pencil is penciling, y'all, and I'm a lefty, so I cannot write with my right hand, so it was hard for me to even try to write on this piece of paper. The crayon works perfectly. I am loving it. Look, my book opens. It is so cute. I really wish I would have filled in this inner part, but yeah, I was too tired. I was done with this set. I'll just leave it cracked like that so I can't see the inside. But yeah, this is the final look. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, I'm gonna get you guys some better images. The apple is spinning, my little globe is moving. I am so happy with this set. Let me know what you guys think. And it was honestly worth the headache. I feel like I haven't did a really creative nail design like this in a while, so I'm super pleased with it. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any other ideas, let me know as well. Don't forget to shop LGN Pro for our 3-year anniversary. I'm pretty sure it ends on the 25th. I gotta look at the date again. I don't even remember, but I'll have everything linked below for you guys. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love ya.